Hey, I'm on the edge of my seat here, back again with another brand new video, and today I will be no-damaging all the boss fights in Kingdom Hearts Final Mix. Now, I am playing the Final Mix version of the game, and I'm also not going to do a level 1 run. I will be playing this game while leveling up, and look at that, I leveled up at the first boss fight. That's pretty cool, because I don't know, Kingdom Hearts 1, I'm not sure if the other games do this, but it has this system called like tech points, where every time you do like a cool thing against a boss fight, it gives you like experience points. So whenever you like parry a boss fight attack, like, you know, attack the boss fight at the same time they like attack you, you know, you could attack those energy pellets, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to run away from them. And this isn't exactly the safest thing I'm doing right here. In fact, like, once he goes for like the big boom over there, one of them almost hits me. Like, I mean, I almost get hit by that, but I didn't. Like, I got really lucky. But yeah, the cool thing you can do with this guy is you can hit him in the head, and that gives you experience points. And I was able to hit him like so many times that I leveled up to like level 2, and like that's just really cool. And also, you can just kind of go into first person whenever you feel like it, and well, whenever you go into first person mode, you can't move around, so that's kind of the disadvantage in that, but you can do it. This first, like, the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 1 is so cool. I mean, like, I don't know, Kingdom Hearts games always have pretty cool openings, but man, Kingdom Hearts 1 just has, like, you know, that classic opening. You have these little, like glass, I forgot the name whatsoever's, of, like, Disney characters, and, like, you're in this dark void, you know, it's just, like, it's so, it's cool. And there, I defeated this big guy. He's not too hard, however, I am kind of limited by the fact that Kingdom Hearts 1 is a game released in 2001, and they thought it would be a really cool idea if they just did not give you a block or dodge at the beginning of the game, so you're pretty much stuck with attack and jump and kind of run around the enemy. Thankfully, you're just beating up like kids, so it's not too hard at first. For this guy, you just kind of run around him, and he doesn't attack, you attack him, and you can get more creative with it. There's like these complicated air combos you can do, which I'm not going to do a lot of the time because they're hard, and like, I don't know, it's just like finicky. And Kingdom Hearts 1's like physics, I mean, they're nice, they have like some weight to them, but they could be a little bit finicky. Sometimes like your blade doesn't hit the enemy, and that messes up your entire combo. But yeah, you can go into first person mode by, well, I'm playing on the PS5. Well, this game is the PS4 like remaster, but I'm playing it on the PS5, which I don't know if that improves performance or anything, but what it means is I can record the game at 1080p 60 FPS, so that's pretty cool. So anyways, for this jump rope girl, mind you, these characters all have names. I mean, I'm going to have their names in the description when I'm time coding these boss fights, but yeah, the jump rope girl, she's a little bit harder than like Tidus. I mean, I do know some of their names. I know about Tidus, however you pronounce that. She's a little bit harder just because, like, I can't really get a read on when it's safe to attack her. Okay, but this guy is the hardest of them. Because, I don't know, you have to, like, kind of actually have some good timing with the projectiles and all that, and that can be a little bit tricky to deal with, like, you know. But the tricky thing with this guy is that not only do you have to, like, parry his attacks, he has this weird thing where, like, he gets, like, kicked out of his stun state if you hit him once. I don't know, like, if you're in the air, like, if you hit him once and you miss the attack, then he, like, immediately attacks you, and it's just, like, I don't know how to like best elaborate that. No, well, that's one difficulty. You see how I keep missing like my aerial combos? Like, it's just like, bro, I'm right there. I mean, let me hit him, you know? Like, so that's one difficulty with it. And also, my audio sounds way worse for some reason. Well, that reason is that I'm actually in this like sound isolation room, which I have access to, and I thought it would make my audio sound better, but it sounds really weird. So I think I'm actually just going to straight up leave this room and just record where I usually record, which is like my home, which isn't exactly a soundproof studio, but I don't know, the soundproofing here is just making me sound off. It makes me sound like I'm using like AirPods or something. It's really strange. Actually, I'm wrong. It turns out I was using AirPods, or rather, I configured like my Premiere settings that I would be recording audio using my headphones. I'm really tired today, so I guess I didn't catch that. So no, now I'm actually using like my actual good mic, so yeah, the audio sounds fine. It's not the room, it was like me not noticing. So the strategy for Riku is, I'm not even sure. I was just like jumping and hitting him and just getting really lucky. Like, there's one attack you really want to watch out for, and it's one where he just kind of like does a jumpy back. I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like the thing where like you're wrestling. Yeah, that. Like, whenever he does that, you have to be really careful, but I'm not being careful. I'm just kind of jumping around, and every time I jump around, he's either like blocking my attack instead of attacking, or his attack goes right through me, or I parry his attack. So I just got really lucky with Riku. I don't really have a good strategy for him. And then there's this. This is like one of the hardest fights in the game, and it's right at the beginning. Like, you have no block, no dodge. Like, give me the block, give me the dodge. It's like the game is like, no, you have to parry. And also, like, it's like, like, there's a really smart strategy for this where you use this guy's volleyballs to hit the other like characters, but it's hard to do. So instead, I'm just going to kind of take out the volleyball guy out, take out Tidus, and then take out Jump Rope Girl, and just go from there, because it's just like, And also, you have to watch for sound cues. You really need to watch for sound cues, because, like, whenever the Jump Girl goes, like, you ready? Like, you know, she's going to do the jump rope thing, where, like, she spins it around, and the only way to stop that thing, you need to watch out for that. Whenever she does that, you have to parry her attack, because if you don't, it's just going to hit you, because she's very fast with it. She's kind of faster than you. And here, you don't really want to do full combos on him, but sometimes you might be sneaking a full combo there, because the Jump Rope Girl can sneak up on you, like, really sneakily, because, like, when you're locked on one character, the other character is off screen. It's just like, what other fight in the game is like a three-way like this? I mean, they're very rare. It's not like the final boss is like this at all, so it's just like, what's going on here? Like, it's very, very, very annoying. But yeah, this video has been like 2 months in the making, and the reason for that is, I think I mentioned it before, like, yeah, this video will not be tackling the super boss fights in this game. Like some of those like post-game, like super hard boss fights. So technically, Kingdom Hearts 1 doesn't have a post-game. Like, I mean, because it only has an end game. Like, it has a portion where you can like save before like the final boss, and then you can go and do the rest of the content before doing like the actual final boss. There's no like New Game Plus or anything. That does not get introduced into Kingdom Hearts for a very, very long time. So yeah, now that I defeated like Tidus by being kind of careful, now I have to defeat the Jump Rope Girl. I'm telling you, I do not know her openings. Like, it's just like, I kind of try to get in on her openings, but like if you attack her like too soon, she'll like jump around you and then like attack you from the side. It's like, and since you have such limited mobility at this exact point, you know, you get screwed. And now here, we're back again. And I don't know if I mentioned it before, but at the very beginning, like, you know, this guy's the tutorial boss fight. In his first boss fight, you saw that I had a magic wand. That's because, like, this game is an RPG of sorts. Like, there is some type of class specialization. Like, it's nothing all that deep. I mean, it's not like you're going to be playing a completely different game if you specialize in a different class. But you will have, like, different stats and have access to different moves at different times. So there is a little bit of specialization. And I'm specializing... Well, the way I specialized... Actually, I forgot how I specialized, but I chose the staff, and I think I gave up the shield. And what this does, I'm not even sure if I did that, but pretty much the thing which I chose has like the lowest defense out of all the classes. So it means like I get hit really, really hard. So it means like I cannot take much damage, but I'm gonna have the highest attack and also like the highest like magic value out of the class with like the lowest defense. And also I get access to some pretty useful moves like pretty early on. Oh yeah, another thing you don't get access to in this game, you don't get access to like your enemy's health bars, so you're just hitting them for dear life. I mean, like the last game like I no damaged where I couldn't see the enemy's health bar was like Kuruhyo, which is a Yakuza PSP Japanese spin-off which has not been like localized yet. And well, there's plenty of games which have boss fights where you can't see the health bar, like Monster Hunter and all that, but I really would like to see the enemy's health bar just so I can know like how I'm doing, because sometimes some of these fights can drag for me. Actually, no, Kingdom Hearts 1 is pretty good with its fights. Like, most of its fights have a pretty like good, decent length to them. I mean, I think the one part which drags about Kingdom Hearts 1's boss fights is that the combat can be pretty simple, especially in the beginning. Like, you're just hitting them with like the Keyblade, and it's a pretty like simple hits, you know, like 1, 2, 3. Like, you can't really like change up your hits all that much until like later in the game. I mean, right now, like, I mean, this is a fight which like the game forces you to lose in a sense. Like, you know, if you lose it, then the game continues. But it actually is possible to win. Like, the last boss fight which I faced, which was like of this nature, was the first boss fight. No, the second. Was it the first? Yeah, I think it was like the first boss fight in Yakuza Kenzen, another Japanese like spin-off of Yakuza which has not been localized yet. And okay, here's my first complaint with Kingdom Hearts 1 Final Mix, and it's with this guy called the Guard Armor. Now, his fight is a little bit tricky since you don't have a dodge or block, and it's just like, this fight, it seems like perfectly made for the block or dodge, but no, this game like really forces you to learn its parry system. If you do not learn its parry system, you're just screwed with this guy, because like, you need to parry his hits. I mean, especially for no damage, which is what I'm doing right now. Like, you need to parry this guy's hits, or else you're gonna get hit, or just get really lucky when you're hitting him. Or like, you know, you're like positioning yourself in such a way where you don't get hit. Like, in the very beginning, he does like this spinning attack with his arms, like, you know, parry that and you'll be stunned for a bit, so you can kind of hit him for a lot of the time. But yeah, my complaint is, in the original version of this game, this guy has this really cool purple like color scheme, but in the final mix version, for some reason, they turned him into like this weird like cotton candy snow cone flavor. Like, what is this? This looks like a flag. It doesn't look menacing. I hate these colors because like they're too inviting, they're too friendly. Like, this looks like a preschool like playground. And to be fair, I mean, this game is family friendly. This is actually the first family friendly game I'm playing on the channel, so there will be no swearing throughout this video. I have sworn in some of my previous videos, so if you cannot hear swear words, I would recommend not seeing some of my previous videos because there are swear words in them. But this video will not have any swearing whatsoever. So that is, yeah, this boss fight, I kind of want to go more into strategy, but there isn't really that much strategy. You kind of have to like watch out for certain hits you can parry them, or, you know, just get really lucky while mashing the attack button, because like most of these early game boss fights is mashing the attack button, and I hate this guy. This guy is terrible. Like, this dude, he's so annoying. It's just like what I'm saying, like, it's just hitting him with melee attacks over and over and over. But there's one annoyance. The guy has really lanky legs, so you have to jump on this chair, then you have to jump onto him and attack him, and, you know, in the beginning it's not so bad, but then later on, it becomes super, I mean, to be fair, I mean, in the beginning it's really bad if you're still getting used to, like, platforming in this game, because, well, the platforming is a little bit janky. Like, I don't know, you really have to, like, you have to get a feel for it, because it's not that good. Like, you have to get a feel for jumping on the chair, jumping off the chair, landing combo attacks on this guy, and also jumping on the chair, jumping on the table, and it's just like, one thing I like to do is I kind of like to linger on the ground for a bit in order to bait out one of this guy's attacks, because one of this guy's attacks is to attack the ground. So I kind of like bait him out to do that, and then when he's doing that attack, I go to jump for the chair again. But now here, he's reached the point, I mean, since you can't see his health, you don't know what point he's at until you get to that point, because he starts walking over here. And when he walks over here, okay, I got a little like, yeah, I'm gonna try to not do that, but can't make any promises there. But yeah, once he gets to this point, he adds fire on his sticks. And when he has fire on his sticks, like, his attacks have like an area of effect damage. I mean, like, I don't know, like, the area around the sticks is now like dangerous, even when like he's not attacking. So one thing I like to do is I kind of like, he does a really long animation there when he's like doing that attack, so I pretty much just get up straight in his face and like start attacking him there. And you kind of have to get lucky that like the keyblade actually reaches like its attack point, or if you jump high enough, so it's just like, so annoying. But here I'm gonna end the fight by shooting a bunch of fireballs, and that worked pretty well, because it's just kind of like, he adds fire to his sticks, the fire runs out, he relights the sticks, and he's nowhere near the table, so it's just like, you can't get like those lucky combos you can get in the beginning. It's like, what an annoying fight. This took many hours to like do, and it's just like, Like, at least I have my dodge. And now here we're fighting a jaguar, and he has a name, but I forgot it. Now, the annoying thing about this jaguar is that if you die or like fail, I mean, if you fail this fight, the game continues, because just like Leon, which was one of the previous fights in this video, it's one of those fights which the game expects you to fail, but you don't necessarily have to fail it. But the thing is, if you fail it, that means you took damage, so you have to like reload a save, right? But in order to reload a save, you have to do like this entire thing where you select the world, you go through this cutscene with Donald, where like Sora and Donald are having like an argument or something, like, oh, Sora, you can... No, that's not how Donald talks. That's like, I forgot how to do a Donald Duck voice. That's like a... And Sora's like, you're mean, I could drive the ship. And then like they crash the ship in Tarzan, and that's how we end up fighting the jaguar. But you gotta have to go through all of that every single time you want to fight the jaguar again. And also you have to like get to a save point, or just quit the entire game over and like reselect it from the PlayStation 5 like menu, which, well, at least on PlayStation 5 it's a very quick process, but it's still annoying. Now this one's not too bad, because you're right next to a save point with this fight, and you can kind of just pull up on this guy and just beat him up. And now we actually have Tarzan with us, and most of the time I'm gonna replace Goofy with like the party member of the world which we're in. Like, very rarely do I change it, and when I do change that process, it's for a very good reason. Now, there were some things I wanted to mention on my outline which I forgot to mention along the way, so let me just bring those things up right now. So, like, I don't know, video game abstraction is a pretty funny thing. And, oh, the strategy for the Jaguar, I should probably talk about that first. So, I don't know. With this, with the first fight, there is a really simple strategy. You kind of wait for him to be, like, resting, kind of going, like, yawning. He does a little bit of a yawning motion. That's when I attack him. Here, he's a little bit more unpredictable, and frankly, I don't know what the pattern is with, like, his second fight. It's really hard. This fight, most of my, like, no damage strats here are completely luck-based. Like, I'm pretty much just spamming this guy, and it gives invisible, like, little chameleon. And then there comes a point where if you attack him enough, I mean, like, before this point, sometimes with some of my previous attempts, I would be doing the same exact thing, you know, just attacking him a whole bunch, but I would get hit, or I would get, like, I'll be, like, in a bad position and I get hit. And now here, when this lizard kind of, like, bellows over here, what you want to do is go for 1-2s instead of like 1-2-3s, and then when he, like, you know, starts to recover, stick to like the 1-2s again. I think this helps with like damage distribution, so just kind of keep doing that. And then at one point he's gonna get kicked off his chameleon, and my strategy at the very least is I'm gonna try to take down Clayton first, but I'm gonna try to, like, you know, I'm gonna try to get him to a place where the lizard isn't gonna follow me, and up here on this cliff is a really good place. And now there's a really great way to loop Clayton, but I am very imprecise with it. Like, you don't want to go for those full combos. You kind of want to stick with the 1-2s, because if you go for a full combo, you might accidentally, like, launch him off the platform just like that. And Clayton can heal himself, though, to my knowledge, he has a pretty short health bar. And here, I don't think I need to shoot all these fireballs. In fact, I don't think these fireballs are doing all that much good, but they might accidentally be hitting the lizard, because somehow there comes a point where I go to fight the lizard and the lizard just immediately dies, because either Donald and, like, Tarzan are, like, giving the lizard, like, you know, the work and all that, or the fireballs I was shooting were actually damaging the lizard. Look at that. You saw a little, like, spark of light? That's the lizard. It got taken out. I don't know how. I barely did anything to it. So it's just like, I can't really tell because, you know, no health bars yet. I mean, also, like, the way you build your character at the beginning also depends on how fast you get to see the enemy's health bar, and my build wasn't exactly the worst one for that, but I got to see them, like, pretty late in the game. It's just like, oh man, come on. And there we go. Clayton is done. He's over. And now let me talk about that other thing I really wanted to talk about. I keep forgetting, but yeah, no. Video game abstraction is, like, a really funny thing, because, like, in the Alice in Wonderland world, I'm, like, collecting evidence to, like, prove that Alice is, like, you know, Alice from Alice in Wonderland, if you've seen that movie. You know, this is a game with Disney characters and all that, but yeah, like, I'm collecting evidence to prove that Alice is innocent, and the evidence is just, like, these gift boxes throughout the world. And, like, I open them, and, like, one of them says that I collected footprints. What? What are footprints doing in, like, a gift box? It's just like, they kind of have to abstract it in that way, because it's just like, how are you going to represent that you collected footprints in a PS2 game for, like, kids, you know? Like, I mean, to be fair, I mean, when I say this game's for kids, I mean, it is, but it also, like, has those, like, pretty hardcore, like, JRPG, like, sections to it, because, I mean, it's a combination with Disney and Final Fantasy. I mean, if you click on this video, you probably know that. But yeah, I mean, like, the way this game was made is that some executive at, like, Square Enix or Disney, no, like, someone from Square Enix and someone from Disney were in the same elevator one time, and then, like, one of them gave, like, another one of them, like, the pitch, which is like, what if we combine Disney and Square Enix characters? And he's like, yo, done. Mind you, it was a lot more complicated than that, but that's kind of where we start. Now, this guy can be pretty annoying, because when he's fully combined like this, he has this one attack where he just, like, lunges forward, like, in a circle. Like that. That's the one attack. You have to watch out for that. You have to, like, position yourself where you don't get hit by attack, where you don't get hit by that attack, or you have to parry it. And then when these, like, things are separated, like, it's frantic. I don't really have a good strategy for it, because most of the time I can kind of, like, kill these guys before they do anything, like, all that dangerous. I mean, mind you, if, like, they're about to do, like, a big stompy thing, you know, don't put yourself in a dangerous situation. I mean, mind you, I just put myself in a dangerous situation. Mind you, I do not have the best control of the English language at this exact moment. But yeah, I mean, I just put myself in a dangerous situation, but I got really lucky with my attack combos because I just parried the thing that they were about to do to me. And yeah, there we go. See, watch out for that. I mean, sometimes they'll, like, target your party members, and you can get really lucky there. And then when he's, like, all alone like this, he's gonna start shooting energy balls at you. So you kind of, like, watch out for that. Boom. You have to dodge that. Then go for a quick combo, and he's gonna very quickly, he kind of position himself for another energy ball. Thankfully, his health is, like, really low at this moment, and we are done. Boom. Bam. Let's go. I will say, early game, like, grinding in Kingdom Hearts is pretty fun. I don't know. It's like pretty relaxed in the beginning. You know, like, you just kind of kill a couple enemies, you explore worlds, and, like, the worlds in this game are really nice. Like, this game has held up really nicely for a PS2 game, though. To be fair, this is actually the HD remaster of a PS2 game. I mean, it's 1080p 60 FPS. I mean, PS2 games are like 480p unless you, like, upscale them with, like, an emulator, or just with, like, a straight up upscaler. Like, I'll get into that maybe in another video. Oh wow, okay, let me try that again. So the issue was that I accidentally, like, tripped a wire while in that room, like the soundproof room. Anyways, I'm not in that room anymore. So I think I better talk some strategy about Cloud. So Pretty much, I think one of the main things is he's open when he does like a big jump a lot of the time. However, if you kind of like flow a jump attack when he jumps, you know, like you miss the first attack but then you land the other ones, then he's gonna become dangerous again. So you kind of want to land all 3 hits, though that is very hard. And yeah, look at that. Like I have no distance. So sometimes Cloud just loves to jump back, so you kind of have to deal with that. Another thing which like where Cloud is like very open is whenever he does like he has like a jump. Not a jump attack, he has a jump. But he also has a designated jump attack right there. Boom, bam, pow. He's kind of free there most of the time. Sometimes he'll get aggressive, but it's kind of rare. Now that attack, you can parry it maybe, but parrying it is kind of hard. There's also this really cool advanced technique you can do with him, where you know how like your air combo is 3 hits? Well, pretty much a lot of the time you'll like land the first 2 hits and the 3rd hit Cloud will block it. But in the time that he blocks it, that gives you enough time to like get behind him and kind of jump, do a like air combo, and the air combo will like do the first 2 hits and the 3rd one will get blocked again. And you can kind of infinitely loop him that way, but it's kind of hard, so I don't do that. I also threw in a lot of like fire attacks since I am using magic. Like I don't know, the Kingdom Hearts like no damage scene is kind of ruled by like, you know, a couple people here and there, but those couple people are like experts. Like they also restrict themselves a lot on how to like play these games. You know, like no magic, no items, no leveling up, you know, no blocking. I mean, that some people just straight up do not block during the videos. It's like, whoa, and it's possible they do it. So it's like, whoa. In fact, I like to mention those YouTubers, but I'll do that after talking about this fight. So Cerberus is a mighty beast of a fight. Let's just say that in terms of like a difficulty tweak, and also just look at that. That is a mighty beast. That is the Cerberus with the 3 heads and a very large dog. So the strategy with this one, the way I'm fighting him in this video, I actually don't think is very ideal. So you kind of start off and he's shooting fireballs, so kind of get around him, get to like the back of him when he's shooting like those fireballs, and just kind of spam magic. I mean, I have thunder at this point, so I'm spamming thunder, but like once, you know, he's at this position, there's a better strategy than like doing these full combos, because like these full combos I'm doing will land me in a pretty dangerous position, because sometimes I'll land the full combo and like I'll be straight in the middle of these like 3 dogs, and like all 3 of them will like attack me. So the better thing to do is actually just to do 1-2 and then wait for them to attack, 1-2, wait for them to attack, because like if you do that, that 3rd finisher, you're gonna it's dicey, it's a little random, so you know, like watch out for that. So yeah, so I was gonna refer to YouTubers. Okay, let me shout out some YouTubers, which definitely helped me with the making of this video. So first off, shout out to Will JV2. He's like a massive Kingdom Hearts expert. Like, it's crazy how good he is at these games. And the strategy for this pot scorpion is that it's kind of dangerous. I frankly forgot. Just don't stick to the back of this pot scorpion. In fact, I'm using this move to kind of like avoid the danger of fighting the pot scorpion, and also sometimes it does that. In fact, I don't even think this is called the pot scorpion. This might be called the pot caterpillar, because the pot scorpion is actually like this boss fight you have to fight in order to like grind materials, and it's a very, very annoying fight. So okay, so that's one YouTuber out of the way, and I want to mention another YouTuber. Yeah, so when this like caterpillar, whatever, is kind of like there, it's very dangerous to attack them with like combos. You want to keep it like very brief, because if you go too long with the combos, like the electric antennas or whatever just kind of screw you over. And coming up, this is going to be a very annoying fight against your... No, actually, that's afterwards. But anyways, another YouTuber I want to shout out is the Cool Dogs, which made a Kingdom Hearts like 1 no damage, kind of in the style of my video, you know, very long form, all the story boss fights, you know, so it's kind of like my style, though without commentary. So that video was also very helpful, because sometimes I'll watch like Will's video and like his strategies are like, ah! So I watch Cool Dog's videos and his strategies are sometimes like, okay, I can kind of vibe with that a little bit more. So it was like very helpful watching both of those videos like back to back. So anyways, the strategy for this fight is just, it's a strange one, like this dog fight. No, this is a lion. No, this is a tiger. This is like a sand tiger, you know, you seen Aladdin? Okay, so the strategy is I'm trying to deal like equal damage to the eyeballs. Like there's a very like sufficient strategy to like kind of doing it well, but I'm messing it up because like I'll sometimes switch between the lock-on targets like too fast, and like I'll just whiff all my attacks. So here, because like the reason I don't want to take out like one of the eyes like immediately is because if I do, then this Tiger's attack patterns become a lot more erratic with like shooting lasers at me, and sometimes I throw in some like thunder magic, and ooh, those enemies can really screw you over and put you in a bad place if you're not paying attention to them, because it's just like, oh no. So anyways, here, this fight is the really, really annoying fight, which I don't like. Okay, so this fight's going to take forever because I'm just really bad at it. So there isn't much here. You just kind of attack Jafar, and Jafar's going to fly around going, and it's just going to be like dumb and stupid, and I hate him. And yeah, he has attacks, he has magic, but he sucks. Who cares? And Genie's going to be attacking you a lot of the time, but thankfully Genie is really bad at it. Like, I mean, he has really huge sound cues to kind of like let you know he's going to attack. But even when he does the huge sound cues, he kind of whiffs a lot of his attacks, which, you know, he's being friendly, but, you know, he's not very effective at his job of betraying us, which, you know, he doesn't want to do. So there's a couple things I wanted to mention. For one, I mentioned how, like, you know, it's really important that this game isn't like the original PS2 game, it's a PS4 remaster. And another reason that's really important is because in the making of this remaster, they actually lost a lot of the assets from the original game. Like, I don't know the specifics of it, but apparently they lost the source code to like the original Kingdom Hearts 1. So without the source code, they couldn't use those OG assets again. So they actually have to remake a lot of the assets like from scratch once again for this game in particular, for this remaster, which is pretty crazy because it ended up really, really well a lot of the time. Like, I mean, this is a beautiful looking remaster in that case, because, you know, you have stuff like the Silent Hill like 2 and 3 remasters, which, you know, were in the same predicament. They lost their source code, so they actually had to recreate a lot of the assets from scratch, and that ended up terribly, horribly. That ended up being a complete disaster. So it's just like, I'm very happy that this is a very nice remaster. And another thing I wanted to mention is, I'm not sure if I mentioned it before, but XP 0. So yes, I will, like, I'm not doing a level 1 run. I will be leveling up throughout this video, but even if you're leveling up, the ability XP 0 still has a ton of use. Because pretty much what the ability XP 0 does is that it's balanced around you being level 1. And if you were level 1 without that ability, then your damage is going to be like complete chip damage. So the XP 0, if you choose that ability, has some modifiers with like attack and a bunch of other stuff, but mostly attack. So you deal more attack with XP 0 turned on. And this is still true if you're like, you know, leveling up. So you could be like level 10 and activate XP like 0, and you still get that damage boost. And the damage boost mostly comes from your finisher attack. So like the final attack in your combo is your finisher attack. So it's like, you know, the big punchy finisher. And that's another thing. You can modify your moveset, you know, as you level up throughout the game, and also as you just go throughout the game. I don't know, like, think back to that Tarzan boss fight where I was fighting, I forgot his name, Cliff? Is his name Cliff? The guy with the shotgun. So when you're fighting that guy, you may have noticed that whenever I did like a full ground combo, I did like this big explosion of magic whenever I like finished that combo, and that's like a combo modifier which I chose. And sometimes I'm gonna remove it from my combo modifiers because sometimes that big explosion of energy is actually worse than doing like a normal combo, because, you know, it's a little slow and the enemy will react to it. You know, like for those really technical fights later on in the game, I remove it. Now, did you see that big spinning move I did? That's called a Hurricane Blast, and that's like an air combo like finisher modifier. So if you equip the Hurricane Blast, then you get access to that big like sweeping like circular Hurricane Blast move. I hope what I'm saying makes sense. And yeah, this boss fight's really annoying. It's just attacking the parrot with the lamp, and it's like, ah! Like you saw that, like I was about to get hit by Jafar, but yeah, like Jafar's all his health is there, so there's a little bit of platforming involved, there's a little bit of luck, and you just really want to take out this bird here. And that's pretty much about it. And like, I mean, that's one thing, Kingdom Hearts 1's boss fights, I mean, like Kingdom Hearts 1 has a pretty solid combat system. It's just that I'm not sure if its boss fights really play to its strength a lot of the time, because most of these boss fights are really simple and yada yada, and I don't know if that's going to be true for the rest of this series. I mean, I have played most of the Kingdom Hearts games. Like, the only ones I haven't played is like Chain of Memories and the Gacha game on mobile. I haven't played those, so I don't know how those games go. I have played the other games, though I have a bit of a foggy memory with them, so I don't remember like how good like those previous boss fights were. And here, okay, so summons is something you can do, and here I use it to a very smart degree, because okay, once you reach this point of the fight, the bird is just going to be really high up, and it's going to be really hard to land full combos. So here I'm going to use Simba to just kind of land some magic combos on him, you know. It reaches all the way to him, like the damage like kind of can actually reach the bird. And oh yeah, I have some pretty sad news. So okay, wait, hold up. Okay, so Guilford Gottfried, the voice of the bird in the Aladdin movie, and also in this game, he does actually show up for this game. He died a couple weeks ago. Like, I'm not kidding. He is actually not with us anymore. So, yeah, I don't know, that sucks. Because, I mean, the guy's an absolute comedic legend. So, you know, it's just sad that he had to go. Same with Norm Macdonald. Though Norm Macdonald hasn't had any associations with Kingdom Hearts, much to my dismay. And also, I mean, to be fair, I'm not sure. Maybe he does have some involvement with Kingdom Hearts. You know, Norm Macdonald, Kingdom Hearts. Let's make that happen. Well, somehow. So there was something I wanted to mention during the Genie fight with Jafar, but I forgot to mention it. And it kind of applies to this dumb Parasite thing as well. Alright, so... Actually, never mind. No, the thing I'm going to say actually applies to this Parasite thing. So... Like, you know, when you're fighting this boss fight, it has this thing where, like, if you short hop, you know, you do like a short hop, you can, like, stun lock it, you know, if you press X. I was kind of doing it, but sometimes he breaks out of it. So, yeah, you can, like, stun lock it if you press X normally while locked onto the head. No. Okay, never mind. I said it wrong. So, if you short hop and you do, like, a short combo like that one, you can kind of stun this thing, but I'm not very good at that. But if you just press X while you're on the ground and locked onto the head, you'll just automatically go all the way up to the head instead of attacking from the body. See, that was a short hop, and that's stunning him. But whatever gender this Parasite goes by, it's trapping Pinocchio. I'm assuming it's going to take the gender of Pinocchio, and Pinocchio's like a dude. So here's the Parasite dude, and I'm just beating the absolute, like, bollocks out of it. Oh no, I can't say that. No! I forget I said that. So anyway, so if you're on the ground and you just press X normally without like doing any jumping, you just go all the way to the top, and if you land the full combo on the head, this happens. And it's a very good opportunity to spam fire, because this thing is pretty weak to fire. I think there was something else I wanted to mention. Like, yeah, so to get back to like the evil genie fight, it's useful to kind of like figure out the difference between like jumping and attacking and just attacking and, like, you know, the game automatically jumping for you, because the ability Hurricane Blast only takes effect if you're above the enemy, and if you do a short hop, a lot of the time you're not above the enemy. But if you let the game jump for you, you'll like most of the time go way above the enemy, and then you can do the Hurricane Blast move, which deals a lot more damage than like your normal finisher. And here is the Ursula fight. This world sucks. The combat is bad. Like, you know, like you're like the game's like OG combat is already a little bit clunky in areas, but this just makes it so much worse. So the gimmick here is kind of shoot magic to that cauldron, and then Ursula will be weak by a certain point, and then you just kind of attack her a whole bunch until you can't. And then when you can't attack her, then she's gonna go into like this thing where she spins around, and you just kind of have to avoid it by kind of going up and down a lot. So you go, ha 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 ha, ah, ha, ha. I can't do a very good Ursula voice, I'm sorry. And then, like, okay, so Ursula's annoying because sometimes she can do that. But the worst part of it is the eels. The eels, like, you kind of have to be like constantly moving around to avoid those eels, and it's just kind of random. Because sometimes the eels attacks will get you. They'll sometimes like have a bit of a spiffy hitbox. Sometimes they'll just be really good and just get you. So you like a constant motion, constant motion. Also pay attention to the effects of the cauldron, because, you know, just to figure out what type of magic you want to land. And it's also like, oh, look at this, bro. Like, it's so lame. I hate this. Like, this is definitely the worst world in the game, and I think it's probably home to like one of the worst boss fights in the game. Probably the worst boss fight, because it just sucks. I mean, not this one. This one's decent, you know, like it's simple. It's kind of designed around the movement, I guess, but it's just kind of like, you know, the movement's already kind of bad, so it's like, So I wanted to mention something before, but I never got to mention it, and it's to get back to like that very first boss fight in this video, you know, the one where I had like the Mickey Mouse magic wand. I wanted to mention how much I like the look of that wand. You know, it kind of looks like one of those toys you'd get at Disney World. You know, like one of those toys like the lightsabers. You know, like those like kind of lightsabers you can get at Disney World. Not like the actual lightsabers, but like those like colorful swords which have like multiple sections to them where they have to like kind of pull it out. And like at first it's like a really smooth like pull out, but then like one of the sections will get stuck, so you have to like really force it closed or really force it open, and this fight, I can't stand this fight. Like, I thought this fight would be cool, and no, it sucks. You wanna know why it sucks? And it's like, So later on in like this Atlantis world, is that what it's called, Atlantis? Like you get the ability to swim faster, but the ability to swim faster is like really clunky because you pretty much have like to press square and like circle in order to go up and down. However, in order to go faster, you have to like double tap one of those buttons. But once you double tap one of those buttons, it's a really like clunky straight line you go into, which you can't manipulate like that much whatsoever. So like in this Ursula fight requires you to use this ability to dodge a lot of her attacks. And it's just like sometimes you'll speed straight into one of her attacks. And then also another annoying thing about Ursula is that the lightning, there's just like these random lightning bolts that keep coming out of nowhere. So yeah, I'm cheesing the hell out of this fight. Pretty much what I'm doing is I'm using stop, I'm doing a combo, then I'm moving away to avoid the lightning, and like I just keep doing that. And if I run out of magic, I'll use an elixir to heal everything. And then like once you reach this point, she does this massive attack. However, once she does this massive attack, you kind of get to this sweet point because like the thing with the stop spell in this game is that if you use stop on like certain movements the boss fight does, like you know the amount of time they're stopped for changes. So once Ursula does like that big attack, if you do the stop spell on her, she gets stopped for a really long time. Like she gets stopped long enough where you can do like a full combo and also like, you know, do stop again. So you can kind of loop her like this beat. This doesn't always work, especially in the beginning. Like if you like stop her, she's not gonna stay stopped the entire time. But she only stays stopped at like this exact moment. So I'm just using this to kind of like eliminate most of her health bar. Because it's like fighting this like fight normally is like, ugh. It's such a pain. The movement is clunky. The boss fight sucks and it's just weirdly difficult. A lot of her attacks are hard. She doesn't really have any good openings. So I'm just gonna cheese an opening for myself by just spamming all the elixirs I have. You know, like whatever. I'm gonna use them eventually. Let's use them now for a fight that's just not fun. Not, I hate this fight so much. I hate freaking Donald being an octopus. I hate that design so much. Goofy being a turtle's weird. It's okay. But I hate that Donald, he's like a duck mixed with an octopus. I hate it. I hate that design so much. So anyways, I don't know what I'm waiting for here. Oh, I think I'm waiting to... Yeah, so anyways, we will be revoking Ursula's license to be a giant woman by killing her! And that's the thing with Kingdom Hearts. You kill people in this game. Like, you just straight up slaughter some people every now and then. Like, I mean, to be fair, I think I'm misremembering a lot of the cutscenes to kind of, like, fit that narrative. But no, you just straight up kill people sometimes. Like, Kingdom Hearts 2 is kind of a slaughter fest, but it's a slaughter fest in the sense that, you know, in the next game, they'll just be like, actually, all those people you just killed in cold blood actually didn't die. You know, they came back because they were, like, in the metaverse or something. It's just like, that's just how Kingdom Hearts goes. You know, like, yeah, people can die, but actually they can come back just fine, you know, with a little bit of work here and there, you know, by a little, you know, a couple years spent here and there, a couple decades spent like in hell every now and then, you know, once you do that, they can come back to life, and they're mostly, you know, for the better, but sometimes they have like massive emotional scars because, you know, that's a conversation for another video. But the point is, Sora, he's like, what, a 10-year-old in this game? He's just killing people sometimes, and it just happens. Anyways, he's fighting himself, like his dark self, and, you know, I think he would have, like, you know, like a shadow self because he kills a lot of people. This is probably like a big misinterpretation of Kingdom Hearts, but, you know, like, whatever. Also, this happened like 5 seconds ago, but Goofy kind of blocked the hit that would have hit me. And I mean, if that hit me, then this video would not exist. So, you know, I gotta thank Goofy for that. So anyways, the strategy for Shadow Sora here is pretty much attack him after he's done with... I mean, he's not actually called Shadow Sora. He's called like Anti-Sora. I don't know, like, I mean, the names get a little confusing because there's like Heartless, there's Nobodies, and there's like Dream Eaters and blah blah blah. We're not even there yet. We're only dealing with the Heartless in this first game, but this isn't technically a Heartless. This is like an Anti-Sora. I don't know exactly what brought up Anti-Sora, but he is Anti-Sora. So the strategy is wait for him to like finish his combo, you know what I mean, like, you know, like that big final swing, wait for him to finish that, then you can attack him there. Whenever he like disappears into the ground, jump to the bed. He can't hit you when he, like, you know, you're at the bed. I mean, the only other way to avoid that attack is just to, like, dodge a lot, but it's kind of inconsistent, so I just kind of jump to the bed and kind of run all the way to, like, the end of the bed, you know, kind of, like, in order to avoid that attack. Whenever, you know, he does that, jump to the bed, because, like, he'll kind of do those attack swings for quite a while, or he might summon 3 of himself. Also, there comes a point, I think about halfway through the fight, or a little, like, after halfway through the fight, where, you know, once you land, like, a finisher combo on him, he'll disappear into smoke, kind of like, yeah, he'll do that, and then you just kind of dodge the attack, and most of the time he'll go into the ground, so jump to the bed. Once he summons, like, 3 of himself, I mean, there's plenty of ways to deal with, like, you know, 3 Soras, but the way I deal with this, I just kind of use Thunder, because, like, the 2 fake Soras, they have a really tiny health bar, so you just immediately take them out, you know, with like the area of effect damage. And that's pretty much the fight. I mean, there's also plenty of other ways to play. You can do like some pretty sick air combos if you know what you're doing. There's also like cool ways to loop this fight, but it's really, really hard to do that. So I'm just going for a more basic like approach just because I can. And this is pretty cool. I mean, challenging, but fun fight. I mean, the only thing that's kind of off about it is just your partners. I don't know, like Goofy and Donald can kind of get in the way of things because like sometimes you'll be trying to do a combo and then they'll do a combo and then like their combo will push like Dark Sora away, Anti-Sora away so far that you won't really be able to reach Dark Sora and then like he'll just hit you, Anti-Sora. Oh yeah, so remember when I said that I tend to replace Goofy with like the party member of like their selective world? This is the one time I don't do that because Peter Pan is infuriating in this fight because Peter Pan has like so many flashy attacks. Like, he has this one move where he just stabs the enemy a whole bunch. There's like a bajillion particle effects happening all at once. And not only are there like a bajillion particle effects happening all at once, which like, you know, kind of block what the enemy is doing. Like, I can't see what Anti-Sora is doing underneath all of these particle effects which Peter Pan creates. But then Peter Pan's like snapping attacks also push the enemy away so far that I can't hit him. Anyways, here's Captain Hook. This fight kind of sucks. These enemies always respawn. Gravity's really good for taking them out. So you can kind of take him out like that. Then Captain Hook, I can't get a read on him. Like apparently like the only really good opening for Captain Hook is when he like jumps onto the ship or like when he's like jumping off the ship, but that's a good time to hit him. So instead of actually trying to figure out his openings, I'm just going to like stop him a whole bunch. Just kind of, you know, stop, boom, and just hit him a whole bunch. Just kind of go from there. And it's just like, man, there's not much to this fight. I mean, like there is, like, I mean, there's plenty of stuff you can talk about, but I'm taking the really cheap way out because I'm just kind of tired of this fight. So it's like, get out of here. So let me talk about something else. So something a bit ridiculous in this game is that, okay, so there are treasure chests in this game and they're pretty fun to collect. But when combat happens, you can't open the treasure chests like during combat, but you can still lock onto them. And it's just like, why do I want to lock onto this treasure chest during combat if I can't do anything with that treasure chest? I can't open it. I can't like use it in any way during combat. So it's like, why do you give me the ability to lock onto it during combat, you know? I mean, I can't do anything. So it's like, come on, man. And there's a couple other things I wanted to mention on the outline. Oh yeah, but just, I mean, once the ship respawns, you know, kind of watch out. It's dangerous. It can shoot missiles at you. It can do a bunch of other stuff. And it can also hone in on you, which is another thing. But sometimes the ship can help you. Like, I don't know if it's happened already in the video, but sometimes the ship will shoot like a missile that actually doesn't hurt you. Instead, it'll shoot like a missile that like heals you, and it's really weird. I think it happened like right now. It's just like, it's so weird. Like, did you see those stabbing effects which like Peter Pan just did? Like, it's insane. Like in that, like look at that. Whoa, like it's stupid. But I mean, it does seem like I'm kind of like dogging on the particle effects, but I really like them. I mean, look at that. That's the missile that heals me. I don't know. It's weird. It's inconsistent, but it happens. But yeah, I mean, some of the particle effects look really cool, especially all the little effects your Keyblade does. Like, each Keyblade has its own little, like, particle effects, and I think that's super dope. And yeah, I'm using a bunch of different Keyblades in this video, just for, you know, I think this one, the Spellbinder, it gives you the most, like, magic possible at early game, kind of early, mid-game, so-so. Also, this Peter Pan world, technically you don't do this world first, and you do Halloween Town first if you take like a basic path, but me, there's this one fight in Halloween Town that's like infuriating, like you need Glide for it, but the only way to get Glide is to finish the Peter Pan world first, so the way you get to the Peter Pan world first is you have to do Atlantica. Like, technically you could skip Atlantica and never do it, but if you want to get Glide before Halloween Town, well, you're gonna have to do Atlantica, sadly. And it is a big shame. And well, I have to kind of do all the storyline boss fights, so I have to do Atlantica. You know how it is. Like, I was gonna like try to put the super bosses and the story bosses all into one video, but like this video took 2 months to come out, and it's because like some of these super bosses are infuriating. Like I've done nearly all of them except for 2. I still need to like no damage the Ice Titan and Sephiroth, and believe me, that's not gonna come anytime soon. I kind of split these videos into 2 parts so I can kind of ignore Kingdom Hearts 1 for a while, because like I'm kind of sick of this game. I want to move on to something else. And yeah, this Oogie Boogie fight. So it's a really basic fight, but some of these gimmicks can be pretty like exciting. Let's just say that. Like, I'll get to those gimmicks when we get to those gimmicks. Pretty much like, you know, Oogie Boogie will do something, like he'll do a little gimmick there, like maybe the spinning wheels will happen, and then you have to press one of these buttons to kind of lock him into place, and once you lock him into place, you kind of like hit him for a bit, and once you hit him for a bit, he's going to roll the dice, and it's going to repeat all over again, you know, like, I mean, as the fight goes along, like, there'll be new gimmicks, sometimes enemies will spawn, you just kind of, and that's it. It's kind of a bit of a dragged out fight. You don't really do much to it, but this arena is so cool. Like, this fight kind of sucks, but this arena is awesome. Like, look at all these colors. Look at all that. This is so awesome. I mean, Halloween Town, like, aesthetically is one of the coolest ones. Like, I mean, I especially love the way the enemies look in this world, especially like when they, in the post game, when like they introduce like new enemies into this world, like the wizards. Like, the wizards get like this new filter on them, like this new like texture. It's just like, I love it. Man, this world is awesome. I mean, like, Sora's design is so cool. He's got like a cute little punk on his head. Like, you know, this is like one of the dopest worlds in the game. Like, for real. Amazing world. Amazing world. So let me talk about some stuff on the outline. And ooh, okay, so I think something really scary is about to happen right now. I'm not sure. Okay, let's see. Is something scary going to happen? I don't know. No, it's just the enemy spawning. So let me talk about something else. So the gummy ship. The gummy ship menu makes like 0 sense to navigate, like, I don't know, intuitively. It's not an intuitive like menu at all. And it's also slow as hell to navigate to booths, like kind of place all the parts. Like, I mean, I hate the gummy ship menu. Like, it's so uninviting. Like, it's just like, you press a button, like, oh, is this how I select between parts? No. Where can I select the part here? It's like, no, it's like, I hate it. There's like a huge learning curve to it. And okay, at this part, when this thing came out, I was like, like, I was like losing my mind when these things came out. Like, it was like in the middle of the fight. I was like, actually like shrieking and screaming. Like, my roommate was like, hey, yo, bro, stop doing that. But like, now, man, I was like insane because like I was so close to getting damaged by that. Look how much little health like Oogie Boogie has. Like, if I got hit there, I would be like insanely mad and upset. Let's just say that. Anyways, you can't press that button when he's on the high platform because the platform will be too high for you to literally catch him. It's just like, that's like kind of a little puzzle element of the fight. It's like, bro, like, Oogie Boogie, bro, like, you're so cool, your arena's so cool, but this fight, this is not it, man. Come on. You could do a lot better than that. Like, come on. Also, the camera in the Peter Pan world is a complete mess. Anyways, this fight right here is why I needed glide, because without glide, all the platforming becomes a lot harder. Also, this is a fight where you need to like learn where all these purple spears are, spears, circles, because you kind of have to route out a way to take out all the spears. Like, I forgot how many of them there are, but first I go for like the armpit one, then we're gonna go for this one. Oh, so I just found out that when you do this move, you don't actually have iframes, which is insane to me, because like, the only special move, okay, so like in Kingdom Hearts you have these things called limits, which are like these special like melee moves or whatever, and the only one which has like full iframes is like the strike raid one, which you unlock by leveling up. Like, here's the thing, there's certain abilities you get just by going through the game, and then there's some abilities that are completely locked off by like actually leveling up. So yeah, we took out that purple shard, and then there's like another purple shard right there, and now I'm going to mess up and I'm going to fall all the way to the floor, but thankfully it's not going to be too hard to get up. But yeah, that's the thing, this is a platforming boss fight too, so it gets clunky, like, you know, trying to platform up this thing, and glide definitely helps. Like, you without glide, this is gonna be such a painful like fight. So yeah, I take out like the blue ball there, the purple ball, but the purple ball there, the purple ball there, and it's just like, it's so hard to explain because you need to get an instinct for it, like where everything is. You know, you have to like actually learn the layout of this area really well if you want to do no damage, because like you got these enemies chasing you. Like, I mean, these things shoot fireballs to hurt you, so it's just like, and Oogie Boogie sometimes, like, he has this little like fire cage where he shakes around and that's gonna shoot fire at you too. It's like, it's a really stressful, annoying fight. I mean, once again, really cool conceptual idea. Like, you're climbing around this giant like boogie combined house monster thing. Like, I mean, that's cool, but like actually fighting this thing is like okay, so we've taken out all the purple balls except for one, the one at the very top. I leave this one for last because it's honestly like, I think, one of the easiest ones to hit. Because here's the thing, so at first when you like fight, when you're like hitting these purple balls or whatever, like enemies don't spawn, but the more of them you take out, like the more enemies start to kind of spawn in. And here I'm gonna end this fight in a really cool way. Look at that, boom, stylish. So here is Riku, and his first fight's not too hard, but he only has like one opening, and it's like when he does a big jump. Let's see if he does it. He's gonna do it soon. Like, he does this really big jump, and that's kind of like the big opening you exploit to do like a combo. Okay, let's see. Come on, do it. Yeah, we go. Once he does that, go for a full combo. And for all the other times where like he doesn't have that opening, I just kind of do strike rate. This is like the one move which has complete iframes, and I will be abusing it for the rest of these fights because
you just can't pass this like move up. It's like the most useful move in the game. Though believe me, for some of those super bosses, it can screw you over. I mean, hell, for some of the super bosses, like it's kind of completely useless. But yeah, I mean, this fight's really easy. Like, there's not much to it. You just kind of do that, and if you have strike rate, then boom, you just make it go by quicker. And like, it's a little annoying if you don't use strike rate, but if you use strike rate, then it's just over in a flash. And also, I have the Keyblade, which you unlock by kind of beating a lot of the Colosseums and the Olympus stuff. Yeah, that Olympus stuff can get pretty crazy, especially under leveled. Like right now, I mean, I'm a pretty normal level. I'm like at level 40 or 50. Like later on in this video, I'm gonna get to like an insane level. But right now, I'm at like a pretty normal level, per se. But yeah, I think I mentioned that like the camera in the Peter Pan world is like a thing of misery, just utterly unbearable. So yeah, here when she's doing the lightning thing, go for 1-2s. Don't go for 1-2-3s, because if you go for 1-2-3s, you actually kind of knock her out of the lightning thing. You kind of want her to keep going with the lightning thing just so that you can deal enough damage. Because man, this first Maleficent fight, I mean, I was watching the way like Will and like Cool Dogs does it, and they like completely annihilate her, and I try to annihilate her in the same way, but it just never works. She just doesn't cooperate the same way. So whenever she does this like my fury thing, like I gotta go for the strike rate just to get all those invincible frames, and also those dogs can get really annoying. Like the most deadly move Maleficent has is when she erupts into like a pillar of fire. She wasn't a pillar, but like a body of fire. Whenever she erupts into that, she is the most dangerous, because like you get hit by that. It's like an area of effect damage if you're like close to it, like collision damage. It's insane. And I got really lucky there, because like my finisher combo knocked me off my platform just before like the fire could touch me. Like I got really lucky there, believe me. And I'm gonna keep getting lucky. Like boom, strike rate. I got really lucky there that I wasn't attacking her normally, because if I was attacking her normally, I would have taken damage. It's just like, man, like this fight is frustrating like that. I mean, a lot of these fights can get pretty frustrating like that. It's just like you have to depend on this one thing. You have to depend on this one thing for the boss fight to do. It's just like, oh, so much like micromanaging and all that. It's like, you know how it is. So another thing for my outline is that, so if you go to the save menu or like the save points, you have the option to like return to the title menu. But when you choose to return to like, you know, said title menu, it's a pretty like abrupt like transition. Like there's no fade out, there's no like, it's just a straight cut to black, cut to the menu. It's like it wasn't even like designed to be there. It just feels really weird. Like it's not natural. Like I mean, the Yakuza, like, you know, cut to title screen like transitions are a bit smoother. Like I mean, it's not like they have the best ones. I mean, hell, I don't even know how you would judge that really. Like, I mean, how would you judge something having the best like you know, quit the title screen like transitions? Like, what game has that? Like, what game can you name off the top of your head which has that? I don't have one, but I just know that the Yakuza ones are better than the ones in the first Kingdom Hearts, which is like, yeah. Ooh, yeah, so here I'm going to cheese the hell out of this dragon by using the genie. And have I talked about damage storage like strats? No, I have not. So remember what I said about XP 0 and how it increases your attack? Well, your attack is increased with like your finisher, but the thing is, something weird happens. So if you land like your finisher combo, you know, like the final hit of your combo, you land that on an enemy, and you summon like, you know, a summon, well, every single attack which the summon does is going to have increased damage, but only if your last attack was a finisher attack. So like, look at this, it's gonna be insane. Boom, look at that, that's crazy. But if your last attack was just like a normal attack, you know, like the first or second hit of your combo, then like the summon's not gonna have increased damage. It's only if you landed your attack with a finisher. And like, I'm sure there's like some subtleties to it which I'm not mentioning, but like so far that's pretty much how it goes. Like, you have to land the finisher, and you have to like kind of do that, and like you can annihilate boss fights like that, especially boss fights like Maleficent right there. Boom, it's over. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? That's pretty crazy. So in the Peter Pan world, I once dropped down into the place where like you meet Wendy like in the cutscene, but the cutscene didn't happen, so there was like an invisible wall at the open door, so I couldn't pass, and I had to quit the game and like restart it just to get the actual cutscene this time. It was like, that was a really annoying glitch. I just want to say that. Riku. Oh my goodness, Riku. This is one of the coolest fights in the game, without a doubt. It may be my favorite. I just wish it was more consistent. Because, I mean, like, there's just, I don't know, Riku has this thing where if you hit him like 4 times, he like retaliates. Most of the time, he kind of does like ha ha ha, like spinning around move, and it's just like, sometimes I'm able to land the full combo, and other times I'm not. Whenever he does that, I like to do the strike grade, and also like whenever he's done, you know, kind of taunting you while blocking you, you can kind of wait for him to stop doing that, and then you can do full combos. So also once he does that, you know, you kind of have access to do like a bunch of full combos, but then he's gonna start like shooting projectiles at you, so you have to like immediately dodge out of the way. It's a very intense fight. I'm telling you. Ooh. So like the first phase, you can kind of get some good combos here and there, but then for here, I'm gonna try to stick to ground combos. And well, I mean, once you get to this part, you also have to like, kind of watch out for whenever he does that big jump, so you have to kind of glide around that. And so some people, they don't have to high jump for this fight, so they can do like air combos easier. Because I don't know, that's the thing. So one thing that's kind of annoying about this game is that you get this upgrade called the high jump, which makes platforming like actually good now because your jump isn't like bad. However, the better jump makes air combos harder to pull off. So it's just like, it's like a double-edged sword. But it's not exactly impossible, it's just a little harder. But here's the thing, when he's in the second phase, you can actually loop him to his death. So pretty much like, once you like, you know, exhaust like his desperation move or whatever. No, it's not a desperation move. Like, I mean, whenever you do 4 hits, he retaliates, but if you can kind of loop him like this, kind of do like a 1, and then 1, 2, 3. I mean, you have to kind of like position him right. You kind of have to like do it at the exact right moment, you know, when he's going to retaliate on that final hit. But once you're able to do that, you can kind of loop him. But for me, I decided to like, you know, stop looping him just so I can show off his like super move he does. And here I'm going to avoid his super move by like spamming iframes. With 2 frames, it's not the ideal way to avoid it. The ideal way to avoid it is to kind of go into a corner and kind of jump somewhere. It's like, man, there's a lot going on in this fight. And like, look at this. I would have taken him out if he didn't immediately go into his room. He would have been dead. Why? It's so unnecessary, but yeah. It's gonna be over. Like, there's a lot to this fight. This fight was super hard. It took me days to like no damage it. It's just like, wow, there's a lot going on. I don't even think I fully described what's going on in the Riku fight. There's a lot going on. But yeah, anyways, here's a big dumb bull. You hit its horn, gravity's like really effective against it, and sometimes it does like attacks, like electricity. You can avoid that. I forgot how I avoid the electricity here. Like, I mean, there's a bunch of ways to avoid it. Do I just dodge? No, I use Strike Raid to avoid it. And using Strike Raid means that the final hit, I'm going to deal some damage. Look at that, that was some nice damage. But there's a more magic efficient way to avoid the lightning if you don't want to like try dodging it. Because I don't know, I tried dodging like that lightning strike, but it's kind of inconsistent. So another way to do it is you can just heal. Because, well, me to be fair, when I say just heal, you're gonna need to like level up because you're gonna need the ability like Leaf Bracer. So the ability Leaf Bracer means that when you're healing, enemies can't damage you, and you can abuse that for iframes. So like, even if you don't take damage, if you have Leaf Bracer, healing is still really useful because, you know, just abuse those iframes. But I don't do that in this fight. I do that in the next fight. So, you know, just keep that in mind. It's like, man, Kingdom Hearts is such a massive game. I want to discuss more of it, as I'm just not the most knowledgeable about it. I'll just say this, like, Kingdom Hearts is a series that's like really easy to take the piss out of, but it's also a series that's like really easy to get excited about. Like, it's just like, I mean, if you just roll with it, there's so many cool ideas, and like it's such a creative game. It's like, like combining all these different aesthetics and putting it into this all big, like, you know, mega story about growing up. It's like, yo, like, yeah, it's super cringe at points, and like a lot of the cringe kind of comes from sometimes the dialogue's a bit off. Sometimes it's just like a little bit like unnatural at points. I don't know. I don't know if that's like the English dub trying to like copy like weird Japanese phrases into like English, or if that's just like something wrong with the script from like a conceptual level. I don't know. Sometimes it's just a little bit off at points, or maybe it's just that the series is just a little too earnest. But to be fair, like the series being so earnest is part of its charm, because you can't get this excited about something which like plays by the rules too hard, you know? Like, I mean, it has to be doing something slightly cringe to like be amazing in a sense. I don't know. I mean, I think that's true for a lot of things. I don't know. So I'm gonna mention some stuff I have on my outline. So first off, the ability Stop, it does work on some boss fights, but not all boss fights. And 2 of those boss fights, the ability Stop does not work on Oogie Boogie or on Riku. So just keep that in mind. Don't even try. So yeah, whenever like this boss fight does that big attack with like the, you know, the death balls or whatever, I kind of hide underneath the beast, and that works pretty well. But you have to like wait for the paws to be on the ground, because like if you try to go underneath him like too fast, like the shockwaves from like his stomps are gonna hurt you. So just keep that in mind. Also, by the way, this design is way cooler. I mean, like, it is kind of a palette swap. I love this blue color. I love it. It's cool. It's cool. So look at this guy. He got blue flames on him. That's so dope. That's sick. Man, I love that. I just have a soft spot for this guy. He's so cool. So there was something. Oh yeah, so the metal chocobo is a keyblade that you can unlock in this game, and it is absolutely massive. It's like the most massive, like long-reaching key. Look at that. I'm gonna use Cure for those iframes so I don't get damaged by the lightning. Very cool, very nice. But yeah, like I mean, the metal chocobo is like the longest keyblade in the game before you get the ultimate keyblade, and well, the ultimate keyblade grind is unbearable. Like, another thing. So. The gummy missions, I hate them. However, the epic music that plays when you're like first traveling to Hollow Bastion is splendid. And also, Hollow Bastion is such an amazing like level. I adore it. I mean, it's like a perfect encapsulation of like everything Kingdom Hearts does really well. It's like it's such a cool place. The platforming is like actually kind of cool and like epic. And like the music, that descending melody is just, oh man. Whenever I get excited about Kingdom Hearts, Hollow Bastion pops into my mind. Just love that level. It's just like so many great story beats and like just gameplay sections. Just man, love that stuff, man. Just adore it. Anyways, here I grinded to like level 100, so I'm just going to completely annihilate this boss fight. Now I said that stop doesn't work on every single enemy, but it does work on this guy. So yeah, watch out for this fire attack. So this guy is like Ursula, but a lot easier. And to be fair, I mean, part of that is that I am at level 100, but like this guy's attacks are like actually fair. Or like Ursula's attacks are just so stupid and like annoying. You know, she has that thing with the lightning blast. This guy is way more reasonable, and I respect him so much for it. Even though I'm just gonna completely annihilate his health bar because I'm at level 100 using XP 0 and also spamming the hell out of stop. But there we go, he's dead. Like the rest of these fights are gonna be really cheesy. It's just how it's gonna be. I like to say, you can, like, in Traverse Town, you can kind of hop on top of some of the houses, and honestly, that's really neat. I like that. And I just want to say, rare Heartless make me, like, furious, because, like, I have to, like, enter and exit the same room, like, a bunch of times, and when I actually do encounter the rare Heartless, if you die, you have to repeat the entering and exiting bullshit. Oh, I was about to say a naughty word. In fact, I might have actually said the naughty word. I am so sorry, guys. We're an hour in, and I might have maybe broken my rule. Sorry about that, guys. I'll do better next time. But yeah, you have to repeat all that baloney all over again. And also, but just keep in mind that Emblem Heartless like do reappear, though it can feel rare and hopeless. Anyways, the strategy for this guy is we're gonna spam like damage storage strats with like XP 0. So pretty much land the finisher combo, pull out Mushu, and then just spam him. And like here, I had to like I had like a weird finger configuration for the controller because I had to like dodge his attacks and shoot him at the same time. And yeah, by the way, I unlocked the ultimate keyblade right there, which it's not worth it. It's not worth it, like the ultimate keyblade. Like if you have the Divine Rose keyblade, that deals enough damage, especially if you get like a bunch of damage up like, attacks. It's just the ultimate keyblade's not worth it, though. It does make certain fights a lot easier. I mean, it makes certain super boss fights a lot easier because I mean, the great thing about the ultimate keyblade is that it is the best keyblade. You know, it has the most magic, it has the most attack, and it has the longest reach, and it also has some of the best particle effects. I love the sound design on the ultimate keyblade. It's so crunchy, but in the long run, it's not worth it. It took me like straight 12 hours to like grind for this thing. It's like, ugh. So yeah, another reason why this video took like 12 months to come out, I grinded for the ultimate keyblade to like defeat the super bosses, but then I tried to fight the super bosses with like, the ultimate keyblade, and I'm like, if I do this, this is gonna take another 2 to 3 weeks, and it's just like, no, I am just tired of it. So yeah, this guy's really easy. We fought him 2 times before. Now, he is slightly harder here because he has a bunch of energy balls like floating around the arena, which could accidentally like clip you, but I got really lucky. You know, they just did not hit me, or like I would just take them out with my ultimate keyblade, and that's pretty much this fight. That's all that happens. Also, I will say, so another off-topic topic. Every time you warp to the Monstro world, like, you know, the Pinocchio world, you have to go through this really long animation of the whale eating the ship, and it sucks. This fight's awesome. Like, it's a little easy, but like, it's easy because it's such a fair fight, you know. He has attacks which you can like react to, and like he has like, you know, good phase. I really like this fight, even though it's a little easy. To be fair, I am spamming like Strike Raid, and every time I spam Strike Raid, like the iframes make it that attack never really hits me. So yeah, like I mean, every time he like, you know, goes into that mode, you can hit him like 2 times with the air combos, and then once he goes for the Guardian, you can like spam Strike Raid, and it's just like boom, it's awesome, it's dope, it's cool, I love it. It's just like boom, like this guy, like here's a boss fight with like actual consistent openings. I love it. And like attacks which like aren't terrible. I mean, like the only attack which like kind of gets on my nerves is that like charge move he does, because like sometimes you get hit at a wrong angle or like you mistime something, but like it's still a pretty awesome attack. Because I don't know, I mean, I kind of appreciate that attack because most of his other attacks aren't that hard to deal with. I mean, You just kind of, like, wait, that attack has like a lot longer reach than you would expect, so you really have to dodge away from that attack. And yeah, I also have like a busted damage, so I'm like destroying this guy, but like, it's a really fun fight. A little easy. Like the Riku fight is a better challenge, but like, I mean, just, I love the design of this fight. I love the aesthetics. I mean, look at this attack. It looks so cool. It looks so sick, even though all you really have to do is just kind of run to the right or run to the left. And then once it's done, this is not a guaranteed opening. I'm being very risky here because a lot of the time when I did that, he would actually like grab me. And then once he like, that submit move, it's easy to dodge, but if you get hit by it, it becomes a really big pain in the ass. No, I can't keep a really big pain in the butt, guys. It becomes a really big pain in the butt. So yeah. And now this attack here, it's kind of hard to like hone in on him. And sometimes he'll just hone in on you. And you have to be really careful there. And he's going to do the submit move. Well, not the submit move. He's going to do... Oh, so here I got really unlucky. Like I go boom, bam, pow. And then for the final hit, he's going to go completely invincible. It's like, oh, what are you doing? I don't really have that much more to say. This fight's just really cool.
What do you hope to accomplish? Do not deny. The final darkness is done. From Guardian.
I will say, if your controller runs out of battery, the game does not pause. Like, you will die. Like, I was playing with this one controller, then it ran out of battery, so I switched to another one, and wow, that did not feel like comfortable at all. Like, the cold, unused, the controller felt like really alien to me. Also, this is more like important for like the super boss fights, but the more you level up, the less magic you recover from melee attacks. Like, this game has a really neat system where, like, you know, you have a magic bar, but you run out of magic eventually. However, the more you hit an enemy, like, I mean, with melee attacks, you know, you can actually recover your magic. However, the more you level up, the less recovery you get from like melee attacks. It's just like, bro, what? Like, I mean, I'm actively being punished for leveling up. Like, there's this one super boss fight, which is not going to show up in this video, called Unknown. And, like, one of the main strategies with him is that you recover magic because of all the combos you do on him. But I leveled up more so that I can get, like, more attack to, like, defeat him easier. But then that tactic doesn't work anymore because I don't recover enough magic to actually, like, make that strategy viable anymore. It's like, why would you do this to me, Kingdom Hearts? Come on, it's so annoying. Anyways, this fight is like the final boss fight, and it's a really weird one. You're like floating around, but pretty much it's like spam magic and watch out for the lasers. So pretty much you really want to get close to this guy, but not so close that he hits you with the melee attacks, but you want to get close enough that you actually bait out the melee attacks. And of course, you have to land a finisher so you can take care, so you can, like, you know, take advantage of like damage storage like strategies. So pretty much like when he says welcome to darkness, like the lasers are going to show up like eventually, but not that soon. But then there comes a point where he says all shall be revealed. Whenever he does that, the lasers are going to come out like immediately. So whenever he says like all shall be revealed, like, you know, start flying away. And like the way you fly away from these lasers, you kind of have to like constantly go to the left, constantly go to the right. But like, you know, you can't cross paths, because sometimes you'll cross paths and it'll be a really bad thing. And you're like, this fight, it's really simple, but it's kind of hard to get down because it's a little tricky getting the positioning right, and it's just like, and especially if you're not, I mean, this fight will be super tricky if you're not spamming items or magic, because this is like, so here, he's really close to doing like his final like super duper move, but that final super duper move is a pain to deal with, so I'm just gonna kill him before he does that, you know? Yeah. So yeah, like what I'm saying is like the more you level up, like it's dumb, because like, I mean, I went from like level 68 to level 81 without knowing this, and I didn't have a save state that I can go back to, so now I can't do like that looping strat with Unknown anymore. Like, I mean, I hate this game for that, and I'll probably go more into detail whenever I do make that super boss video, whenever that happens. And also, I just want to say the mithril and the dark matter synthesis is a completely miserable process, like just utterly horrible, like just so overdrawn, so like takes forever. So anyways, here's like the final part of the final boss fight, and it starts off with all these lasers you have to like dodge, and then once you dodge all those lasers, get your finisher combo on this guy, and then go behind him, because we're pretty much just going to destroy him with Mushu, and that's it. That's pretty much just going to be the end of the game. So yeah, I didn't talk too much about story, though to be fair, I'm not really the biggest expert on this game's story. I mean, it's kind of neat and all that, but I'll probably talk more about that in another video or something. Also, did not get to sing Simple and Clean. I'll do that in the next video as well, but there's not much more to say beyond this. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you all for the next. Yeah, I'll see you all then.
Welcome the darkness.
Gotcha. See ya.